gonna backtrack. And you should have kept my name out your mouth. As we go, how it all turned out. When you try to use my name for clout, keep on going, give me something you could talk about.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine Wednesday, August 27th? It is 1:01 p.m. If my set looks different, it is I messed my lights up and I don't like what it looks like, but I can't fix them. I got to do a whole thing, but I would be remiss not to at least mention it. I don't like what it looks like back there. Okay. So anyway, that's the least important thing we have to talk about today because the time has arrived. A shout out to the cousins in the chat. Hello, the Roz Rodriguez. Hello, Starface, Brandy, TT Marie. That's Karen, Tony, Kitty. Hello, Keeks. Allegedly Joy Miller. Hello. Shout out to the rabbit overlap in the chat. Hello, Reese. Hello, Blasi. Oh, girl, Blasian. Stop it. How you doing, Blasian? China Fashion. Hello, Obsidian. Hello, Lovey Cats. Okay. I'm doing fine. So what we're going to be doing today, finally, hopefully, we're going to be getting some new information, some fresh official notifications and updates from the officials. So I heard on Rabbit's chat that Court TV had a live stream. Also, this guy here, never heard of him, but shout out to Rabbit for putting me on to him. This is on Facebook, BYM News. Hold on. I want to make sure I can. Okay, I do have the volume or the audio is on. So okay, yeah. Okay, so we'll be notified if anything happens here. They got their little printouts, y'all. You see, they do have, I don't want to see this chat go away. They do have these mugshots up here. This is something you typically would see. You typically would see this in a press conference of this sort. You would see, visual aids of some sort. Maybe not necessarily the mugshots. There's, Emmanuel. He is the victim in this case. I got to share the link that I'm live on my Instagram real quick while we're still getting started. This is the live feed of Court TV. I'm going to also be pulling up some other live feeds. But just to make sure that we're not missing any like sound or anything. Yeah. Okay. So let me just share this in my Instagram so people know that we're live and they come through. And that BYM media. Okay. I just noticed I don't like what my lights look like. Ugh. Okay. I think my lights might be getting changed soon. Okay. So just sharing this on Instagram, the link, and then we're going to go to this page here. No, not on the theater. This is BYM Media, and shout out to this person. They're on the scene, and the authorities, the law enforcement authorities, and the feds or not the feds, the state authorities, the prosecutors, or whatever, they have given out an agenda. Who's talking? Okay, nobody's up there yet. Don't worry. They've passed out an agenda, and I thought we could read it together. Y'all know I can only do one thing at one time. I forgot to share my little link here. I was like moving all kinds of stuff all around. Oh, they turned the audio off now. I just heard it click off. Oh, they turned the camera off too, I guess. I guess they need to reset up. All right, we got to find somebody else. Oh, there it goes. Oh,
my name is
okay.
Mike Ketchner. I'm the Riverside County District Attorney.
Here we go.
Welcome. I want to do a couple of things today.
I'm going to take some notes.
First thing I want to do is introduce the individuals that are here on stage with me. First off, to my far left, we have Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco. We have San Bernardino County Sheriff Sergeant Nicholas Clark. We have San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. We have Assistant District Attorney Brandon Smith. and then myself. So someone who's not here, I want to thank as well, Jason Anderson, the San Bernardino County District Attorney. I want to start by thanking these gentlemen up here. I want to thank the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office for their professionalism, their cooperation, and the great work that they hear so far. I want to thank Jason Anderson, the San Bernardino DA's office, his Bureau of Investigation.
Okay, they're doing their
has recently
bureaucracy.
formed a
Thank you.
high-tech crimes unit. They were instrumental in helping us.
The high-tech crimes
with
unit.
This investigation.
Can y'all hear it?
Let me tell you how things are going to go today.
Okay, he's going to tell us how it's going to go
There's
today.
going to be several individuals that make statements up here, and then when we're all done with the short statements, I will come back up and we will have a question and answer. I will take questions. I will take all of your questions till there are no more questions. Having said that, there's a lot that we can't.
We're going to be here a while.
That nobody up here can say. And the reason is that the defendants in this case have been charged with crimes, serious crimes. And so now they have a presumption of innocence that applies to them. They're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I'm not allowed to prove my case in the court of public opinion. And so there's a lot that we can't say in terms of the facts and the evidence. For that, you will have to come to the court and to the various hearings and see how the case plays out. However, having said that, it's appropriate to have a press conference because it was the defendants in this case that had a press conference first.
Oh, slay.
And they did so.
Y'all heard that?
In order to tell the public, the media, and ultimately law enforcement that their child had been kidnapped.
I have things to say, but I want y'all to hear him and then I'll comment.
So, we're here to clear up some misconceptions and to explain how this case unfolded in terms of the investigation. It involves two counties working very well together. I know everybody up here on this stage, we work well together normally, but in this case, I'm very proud of the work that was done by Riverside County Sheriff, San Bernardino County Sheriff, my office, and also the District Attorney's Office in San Bernardino County. All right, so we'll go ahead and kick this off. I'm going to bring up first San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes.
Thank you, Mike. To Mike's point, I want to thank all of you in the media for covering this, specifically the parents' initial statements to the public while we were trying to find Emmanuel. They became critical as we continued through this investigation. But I want to talk about a little bit about the process because we've seen a number of questions related to Amber Alerts and things like that. So I hope when I finish this that everybody understand kind of the course of the investigation. But the investigation started for us on August 14th. When Rebecca Haro reported that her son had been kidnapped.
Rebecca.
Folks, within 24 hours through video surveillance, we found inconsistencies in Rebecca's statement. And as a result of that, there was no other vehicle to put out on an Amber Alert or anything. And I know many of you were wondering why that didn't occur. But really, after finding out those inconsistencies in the statement on the initial report, that's where hundreds of hours of investigations have come in by our specialized investigations division to try to get to the bottom of what's really going on here. And when I say hundreds of hours, I'm talking about forensic data on vehicles, phones, and potential crime scenes, judicial authorized search warrants that were served. And through that process, that's where we learned that the jurisdiction of where this has occurred was in Riverside County. So hence the Riverside County DA and Riverside County Sheriff's Department, which I can't stress enough. We've had a long-term partnership. We work well together and we know how to get things done in these environments. But that's why the jurisdiction had changed from the original jurisdiction that was reported in, which is Yucaipa, California.
Okay.
But as we went through that portion of the investigation and realized that these things that had happened in Riverside County, you saw the culmination of all the different entities get involved. And going back to what Mike mentioned about the DA's office in San Bernardino County and high-tech crimes, forensically, there are a number of things that we were able to prove up that we're not going to be able to share today exactly how we did that, but there is a tremendous amount of evidence that suggests that the initial story posed was not the correct story. So in that partnership with our agencies, I'm going to introduce my partner, Chad Bianco, where this crossover occurred at Riverside, and we reached out to Mike, who's obviously filing the case, and of course, Chad to assist us in the investigation. Chad?
Thank you. Like Sheriff Dicus, I just want to thank all of you for, especially the normal mainstream media, for your attention to this and for your cooperation in this as we were assisting San Bernardino in this investigation, trying to originally find a
was
missing
shady.
baby, but then eventually quickly learning that that investigation was not something that it started as. Not so much for social media and keyboard warriors who quite honestly sometimes hamper and prevent us from
Okay,
from a good
cool.
investigation.
So that's
I
a
do
good
want
time to speak.
Expand a little bit about our relationship with San Bernardino.
Oh, okay.
A
All
lot
right.
from the
You better
media,
move
a lot
on,
of
sir.
questions have been raised about jurisdiction and what.
Okay, who cares about that? Okay, so this man's being shady. I really don't understand who forgot to tell this guy that he works for us. The keyboard warriors that you're so pissed off about, the keyboard warriors you're so pissed off about, that's your bosses, baby boy. That's your bosses, baby boy. You work for us, public servant. Don't forget your place now, boy. Don't forget your place now, boy. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Anyway, let's get back to this useless loser before some important information can actually come across the screen. Now, that being said, he's still talking about jurisdiction. That being said, of course, obviously, and I'll say it again just to reiterate, I don't consider myself to be exactly the same as every YouTuber, every content creator. Of course, there's some people out here acting a fool, but don't listen, public servant, listen, hold up, public servant, hold up. You work for us. Let's not get too freaking sassy. Now get somebody up here who knows what's going on, who's not just bitching like they at the beauty parlor.
And as you can see, between the both counties is what is going to bring this to a successful conclusion. There is absolutely nothing, no crime more important than the injury of a human being, particularly a child. And the amount of resources that were expended to find this baby and to ultimately bring the people to justice responsible for the loss of this baby, I can't even tell you the amount of resources that were expended in this. It is a massive investigation that will obviously be ongoing, and we appreciate your efforts. This involves a lot of things, though, from us, and hopefully there are more questions to be answered, but I'll end it by saying this before we get into more questions specifically about this case. This was preventable in numerous ways. The amount of response we have had from the public, the enormous anger that a child was not only originally thought to be kidnapped, but then.
Do you see how they like to use the public when it behooves them, but then whenever it's to bitch and complain like a little bitch, like somebody who's not here with a bulletproof vest to like protect people from dying and stuff. Wah, the public said stuff online. Wah. And then 5 freaking minutes, not even 5 minutes later, this buffoon, the public was mad. Yeah, now we're mad at you, idiot. Look at all the tomatoes in the chat. Somebody else, this guy I've soured on.
So I thank you all for taking the time.
Thank you. Get off the stage.
Sure
Boo.
Sees this
Boo.
investigation, and we will successfully bring it to conclusion.
Boo. Bianca, Chad Bianca, boo. Let's get somebody up here who knows what they're talking about.
To mention that Sergeant Nicholas Clark is the lead investigator on this case.
Thank God it wasn't that
So
second
even though
one.
he's San Bernardino County, he will be functioning as the lead investigator on this case, which is ongoing. The investigation is ongoing, even though we have filed charges. And then Brandon Smith is going to be the lead prosecutor on the case, obviously Riverside County prosecutor. And with that, obviously you all know, yesterday in court, we filed murder charges on both Jake and Rebecca
Murder
Haro.
charges. Okay, here we
We
go.
also filed filing of a false police report.
And
with that, I will
Police
take
report.
questions. I know you're going to have a lot of questions. I do want to lay some ground rules. The way we do it here is
so basically no new information at all. They gave nothing new so far. So now he's doing ground rules.
I'll do my best to call on everybody. When we've gotten through everyone who has a question, then we can go back and ask more follow-ups. Okay. So I'll start here on the front row. Yes, ma'am.
question is, first of all, do you have any idea where baby Emmanuel is at this point?
You know,
Do you have any idea where he is at
Yes.
this point was the question.
we
He
have
said, yes, we have an
pretty
idea.
strong, indication of where the remains of baby Emmanuel are. So that investigation is ongoing at this time. Yes, go ahead.
Not Johnson Court TV, what was the information that led to the initial search off the 60 in Moreno Valley?
What led to the initial search off the 60 in Moreno Valley?
Sheriff, you want to take that?
I'm not going to go into grave detail about
course
that,
they're
but there
not.
is some level of cooperation with the suspects involved in this, and we're trying to locate that, and our job is to follow every lead. But for the rest of the room here, we have to understand what you're dealing with is an experienced child abuser that is aware of a previous case, that is aware of evidentiary things that we are certainly concerned with. So we're going to take every step to not only work with any suspect or witness involved in this, because at the end of the day, we have to bring a case to Mike and they have to charge it. And we have to make sure that every single thing, no matter what is told to us or what we discover in terms of evidence, is the right thing and that we followed it up extensively.
Okay, next. I'll go to you first and then to you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Gigi Garcia, the Fox 11 News. Do you believe you know how baby Emmanuel died? Or
Do you believe you know how he died? Or any details?
The filing in this case reflects our belief that baby Noah was abused, victim of childhood abuse, and that eventually, because of that abuse, succumbed to those injuries. That's what we believe. Sure.
Okay.
Eddie Baxter, I noticed on the arrest records and booking records that they do have Jake Haro as murder with malice and also another murder charge as well. Is there a second murderer? Can you explain why
The two
We charged
charges.
both Jake and Rebecca with murder.
So that's why there's two
Who's
charges.
next? Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
This is in reference to what Kat was talking about, but can you go into some detail about that case in 2023 and what happened there?
Sure.
Asking about the 2023 case. Sorry, the reporter's questions
I
are
will.
quiet.
So in 2018, Jake Haro with his ex-wife, there's another child who they were prosecuted for child abuse as well, child neglect, cruelty. That child was also an infant, and that came to the courts, arrested in 2018. It came in to the courts in 2023. We had charged various felony crimes, child abuse, child cruelty. And our indication or what we wanted out of the case was prison. We believed it was a prison case and that Jake Haro should have gone to prison. Jake Haro pled straight up to the court, which sometimes reporters get this wrong and you call it a plea bargain. Judges are not allowed to plea bargain. Defendants can plea bargain with the prosecutor, but when a defendant pleads up to the court, they plead to everything that they've been charged with, and they're essentially throwing themselves on the mercy of the court. In this case, a judge here in Riverside County, happened to have been a visiting judge from San Bernardino County, gave Mr. Haro a suspended sentence, which means, if I can translate for you what that is, it means that instead of sending him to prison, he chose to give him probation and suspend prison time sort of over his head, meaning that if he violated his probation, he would then go to prison. My prosecutor in the courtroom objected to that and said on the record, we object. We think it's a prison case. You should send him to prison. And the judge decided, as is the judge's right to do in that case, he decided that Mr. Haro deserved an extra break and gave him probation and basically 180 days of work release, which ends up being like community service. I will say that it was an outrageous error in judgment by this judge. And I don't have any problem saying that. I'm not attacking the judge personally. That decision was absolutely outrageous. Mr. Haro should have been in prison at the time that this crime happened. And if that judge had done his job as he should have done, Emmanuel would be alive today. And that's a shame and it's an outrage. And I hate to say that, but when our criminal justice system breaks down, I'm going to just call it like it is and tell you it broke down. It's not how it's supposed to work. The judge had obviously meant well. At the end of their sentence, he told Jake, I'm giving you a big break today. Don't mess it up. But I want to point something out to you. I want to read to you the injuries. The child's name is Carolina. She is still alive today, but she is permanently.
So he's going to read
She has permanent
those
damage,
injuries we already know.
cerebral palsy that is a result of long-term child abuse. I want to read to you the injuries that were presented in court to this judge at the time of that previous prosecution. Acute fracture of the posterior left rib, fifth rib, healing fractures of the posterior lateral 6th, 7th, and 10th through 12th ribs, healing fractures of the 6th and 9th through 12th ribs, partial bone fracture of the skull, brain hemorrhage, significant prevertebral soft tissue swelling of the neck, and a healing tibia fracture of the right leg. This is severe abuse for an infant. And so whatever you think of the criminal justice system and people need a break, someone who does that to a child belongs in prison, period. Next question.
Can you tell us a little bit about her background? Does she have a prior history of child abuse case?
Not to my knowledge.
I have no idea what he
Yes.
just said. They need to repeat the question. I have no idea what these people are saying.
You know, I'm not gonna, I can't speculate.
He needs to repeat the question. What's the point of this?
We believe that Emmanuel was severely abused over a period of time, and that that's the reason for the filing, the way it was, is that he was abused over a period of time. Both parents would have been aware of that abuse.
I see what, okay. I have
I've
things
already
to
called
say.
on you, so I'm gonna exhaust. Yes, sir.
It's on the theater.
No, one question, sir. One question. I didn't say that, sir. I didn't say I know where the remains are.
He's asking about where the remains are, which is a good question.
Well, you should get some rest, sir. You should get some rest. But no, I can't share with you anything. Look, there are professionals that are looking for the remains of this child. If the public has any information, then we ask for their help. So we don't know exactly where the remains are. We have some ideas in terms of where we're going to look and where we're going to continue to investigate. Yes, sir, all the way in the back. No, I'm not going to do that.
They need to repeat the
Unfortunately,
question.
I understand.
The
it's
closed captions are
obvious
on.
question,
It's live.
but
It's not going to
I
work.
just can't go into it. Those are things that the evidence will be presented in court, and I have to wait till we do that. Who's next?
The closed captions
Yes,
are
sir.
on, as you can see.
Explain, I know they both have charges filed against them, but do you believe that Jake or Rebecca both were actively involved in abusing Emmanuel, or?
So there's two. Okay, I heard this one. Are they equally responsible?
All I can
Are they
explain is
both
what we
involved?
filed murder charges on both of them and making a false police report on both of them. So you can extrapolate that we believe that both of them are guilty, that we can prove it's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt for both the murder and the filing of the false police report. You know, how it breaks down as to who did what, that also has to wait for the trial. So let me go this way. Okay.
Spanish question.
Si nos puede hablar exactamente de este caso de 2023 que dice usted comenzó en 2018 y pudiera ser el eslabón que hubiera evitado en caso de que el juez hubiera dictaminado una sentencia diferente que este niño Emmanuel estuviera. Gracias.
Bueno, ya dije lo que puedo decir. Fue una tragedia
Oh my
increíble
gosh.
y no hubiera
He just pulled that
sucedido.
right out.
El juez hizo un gran error y juzgó mal y el sistema se quebró ese día. Jueces, fiscales, defensores, todos tenemos un deber y tenemos que hacer nuestro deber en nuestro trabajo. Todo lo que puedo decir.
Bueno, básicamente no debió de haberle dado la libertad bajo palabra.
Claro que no. Le dio libertad condicional y esto fue un caso de prisión. Cuando uno hace daño así a un niño, debería ir a prisión. Eso es lo que dice la ley. La ley dice que la sentencia debe ser prisión por crímenes de este nivel de gravedad. Y en este caso le dio probation. Okay. Let me go
Okay,
to, I haven't called him yet.
I'll do the translating. Don't worry.
No, unfortunately I can't. That has to wait for the trial to come out. Yes, sir.
Given the history that Jake has been obviously charged with previous child abuse cases, has CPS been involved with Emmanuel throughout his life at all?
Has CPS ever been involved with Emmanuel throughout his life?
To my knowledge, CPS has not been involved with Emmanuel. I don't believe there was any CPS involvement in this current case. Let me go. I've already called on you. So have I called on you already? No, go ahead, please.
Girl,
I can tell you that
who knows
there's
what they say?
That's not true. It's there's no confession made in jail.
No confession in jail. That's false.
Yes.
He cleared it up.
Go ahead,
That's
sir.
not true. There's no Perkins. How many kids did Jake and Rebecca?
Yeah. Well, there's the 2-year-old and then baby Emmanuel. Yeah. Going back there, yes.
So
ma'am.
those are the two. I don't know what she said.
A no-body homicide is always difficult, but obviously with an infant, we know that baby Emmanuel didn't, leave on his own or is not, didn't leave town. Obviously, it's a little different when you're talking about an infant, but we have a lot of experience in this county trying no-body homicides, and we're confident that we can gain convictions in this case. Yes, ma'am.
What led to that search on Sunday with Jake?
Well, I think Sheriff Dyke has already explained that. He answered that question by saying there's been a level of cooperation with the defendants. So that's why they went to that area. But beyond that, that's all I can say. Yes, ma'am.
What happened? So she's just going over like all this
See,
stuff.
that's not true. So
The fake
I don't know where
inmate.
you. Well, no. See, this is what happens when you've got all these folks out there online and these keyboard warriors. You get a lot
That
of
was Brian
misinformation. What you
Enton,
just said
though.
is not true.
That
It's
was literally
misinformation.
Brian
So
Enton.
that's what I'll tell you.
So
did
take it
not
up
happen.
with the mainstream media.
I can't talk about the facts of the case. Well, no, I'm giving you information about baby Emmanuel. I'm giving you information about the cases and the investigation. But what
I
you
don't
just
like
said
their
did not happen.
attitude
So,
because that
no, that's
rumor
not-
came from
I
Brian
can't be
Enton. He
responsible
works at
for when
New
you
Now,
guys get it wrong.
News Now or whatever. So don't take that out on keyboard warriors, bitch.
Strong likelihood that remains were at least
Yeah, I'm just not going to comment on that. We're looking for the remains. These investigation is continuing. We're hoping to find the remains of baby Emmanuel. Yeah, please, Sheriff.
This is to that.
Oh,
and
here
to the
comes
question
the-
before.
Here comes the sassy
The problem
sass
that we are
pant.
having in this, basically even on the question that was
This man is about to blame some shit on social media and keyboard warriors that came from Brian Enton on News Nation. Watch how stupid he's about to look because it came from Brian Enton. Watch how stupid this little bitch is about to look. Watch.
We've told you, it hasn't been the sensationalism and the wants for clicks for social media. And that is doing nothing but harming this investigation.
It's the mainstream media. How stupid is he? Everyone put some laughs in the chat. Laugh at him. Put some laughs.
Get some rest. There should be no investigation for Baby Emmanuel.
Put some laughs in the chat, everybody.
I want to make it clear here. The reason this is happening relatively quickly and the reason why we got such a handle on this fast is I believe that the Inland Empire is served better by their 2 sheriff's offices than any place in the state. And this particular case doubled its efforts. So instead of having 4,500 people looking for baby Emmanuel, you had 9,000. And so how did we get all of this information? It's called investigation.
Again, 9,000 people are looking because the public cares. He uses that in his favor. But then when he's embarrassed that the public is finding stuff out before him, it's a keyboard warrior. Got it.
Misinformation, lies, and purposeful misdirection is going to do nothing but harm this investigation. And I am begging all of you with cameras out here, don't be a part of it.
Okay.
He needs to get some rest, everybody. That man needs to get some rest. He needs a
wasted yours in
Midol.
English. I'll get back to you.
He needs a
I'll get back to you.
Pamprin.
No, I've already called on you. I'll go ahead. I started with you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And actually, it was for Sheriff Bianco. I just wanted to follow up with you because the way you were talking so impassioned about what should never happen with that injury to a child. How does this compare to other things that you've seen? You mentioned broken bones in children. You impacted me by the way you said that. So I wanted to
How does this compare to other child abuse cases he sent?
Cops
She asked.
get a bad rap of being just heartless souls. I will tell you that most police officers are parents, either dads or moms. And
Isn't it 30% of them beats their wives? Somebody fact check that. I think 30% of them, 40% of them beats their wives.
To a child, nothing. And there is absolutely nothing that we want more than to bring these investigations to a successful conclusion. And when we talk about why we're here in the first place, that we believe someone murdered baby Emmanuel, who should still be in prison, but we have this unbelievable love for criminals, believing that they're somehow victims, and now we're all traumatized by it.
What is he talking about? This man needs a conservatorship.
When I had a deputy murdered because someone was out on the street that
He
should
needs
have
a
been
break.
life
They need to
in
give him a
prison,
rest.
but a judge let them go. We have an absolute breakdown of the justice system, and we are not preventing other children from being harmed when someone like
At least he
Jake
admits it.
is allowed to be out on
At
the
least he
streets
admit they
harming
didn't do
children.
anything to
And so
protect the
anger
child.
that I have, the frustration that I have, then combined with the misinformation and everything else, when for all of us and
From the mainstream media, by the way.
nothing more important to us than the death of a human, particularly a child.
Girl, they cut the thing off? What happened here? Oh, it's going.
Try to work. I'm going to work the back. Yes, sir.
What kind of evidence?
We've got a lot of
Something.
evidence. We're going to have to play that out in court. I can't lay it out here today. Okay. So yes, right next to him. I don't know if we're going to see the arrest warrant today.
When are we going to see the arrest
That's a
warrant?
pretty short answer for Spanish. So, yeah. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, and then I'll come back to you.
As far as the timeline, do you believe that baby Emmanuel will arrive when the parents get forward?
I just can't.
When do they
can't
know?
Say. I'm not going to
do
give
they
a
know the
timeline.
date yet that he was?
Obviously, baby Emmanuel. We have a theory as to when his death occurred. So, and then I've also shared that we believe that when the parents came forward, it was to tell the public something that wasn't true.
Oh my God! Somebody thought I worked for them in this chat. Real quick, I had to.
Go ahead.
I had to handle it.
There's
She's
a lot of
asking about the
witnesses,
levels of
investigators are
cooperation.
tracking down every lead. I'm not going to focus in on who's a relative and who isn't. There's a lot of witnesses in the case that are shedding light. Yes, ma'am.
And then you mentioned
What area are you focusing on?
Right. So I'm not going to say, as Sheriff Bianco just mentioned, when you have members of the public that are out there doing their own searches, all it does is potentially prejudice and damage the case. So please.
Well, maybe if y'all hurry up.
Let the sheriff's departments do their job. They know how to do this, right? We're helping
Alicia,
with
I
them,
agree.
anything they need from us, but they are the ones driving this investigation, and they will track down every lead. I have all the confidence in both of
They
these
forgot they work for the public.
great sheriffs and their great departments. This investigation is ongoing, yes. Yes, ma'am.
In an effort to dispel all of that misinformation that we're seeing on social media, has a plea deal been offered to either Jake or Rebecca? Is that a possibility? And is this a death penalty?
She's asking
It's
about
not a
plea
death penalty
deal
case.
and death penalty.
We did not, and we're not able to file special circumstances, and that's what would be required for it to be eligible for the death penalty. This is, we filed 2 counts of homicide, which in this case is murder, against both Jake and Rebecca. So not a death penalty case. What was the other?
Has a plea deal been offered
No.
to either one, and is that still a possibility?
No. No, we're not interested in a plea bargain with these individuals. We're interested in a trial and getting to justice. Yes, sir.
Where are we in terms of representation for these defendants?
Where
I
are we
don't
in
know.
terms of their
I don't know. That's not
legal
something that I have any knowledge of. Going back, yes, ma'am.
You may not find the Emmanuel's body without
I think you just answered your own question.
Something
Of
about
course, this is an investigation.
finding the
We're
body.
searching for evidence. We've got 2 great sheriff's departments doing what they do best. So if there's a chance to find baby Emmanuel's remains, these men and women of these 2 agencies will do it. Yes, sir.
Okay, we got another Spanish question, so I really no idea.
Estamos aquí porque estamos acusando formalmente a Jake y Rebecca Haro de homicidio y de presentar un reporte falso a la policía.
False police report, girl. I got that.
Los padres del bebé de 7 meses permanecen detenidos bajo una fianza de $1 millón. Y más de eso no puedo comentar porque no puedo hablar sobre la evidencia en el caso porque
He
eso
can't
tiene
talk about
que
all the evidence they found in the house,
en un
y'all.
tribunal, en corte.
It's gonna have to come out in court.
No puedo comentar.
He can't comment.
No, dije que sí, estamos convencidos que el bebé fue abusado por un periodo de tiempo, o sea, tiene 7 meses, o sea, sobre su vida de 7 meses, que fue abusado sobre tiempo.
I don't know. Something about the timeline, girl.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Something about the day before the arrest, girl. Please give them a microphone. Y'all like my Spanish?
Just for clarification, maybe sheriff's department, not sheriff.
I don't like him. His
There
vibe
was
stinks.
a call for service that was generated by Jake
Jake,
that we investigated
finally, some new info.
concerning a child abuse case. And that's all I can give you on that. And it was in Moreno Valley. No, not at this time.
I don't like him. He's crusty, but I don't like Newsom either. I don't really like any politicians, to be honest.
I think we've answered that already. If you are not getting information from his office or my office,
Well, give us
you are
more.
doing
Give us more
our
then.
public an unbelievable disservice.
And take a beta
We
blocker.
don't care what someone posts on social media. And if you all are going to believe that and then generate questions based on those comments, we're not going to get anywhere in this.
It's Brian
If it
Ented,
did not
stupid
come from
ass.
our two agencies, stop believing it. That's all I can tell you.
I don't want to be hollered at by some man with a Hitler mustache, personally. Oh, we got some more Spanish.
Son responsables de la muerte de su bebé por la evidencia que ya tenemos. Y es cierto que no tenemos el cuerpo del bebé, pero tenemos bastante evidencia y nosotros estamos convencidos que fueron responsables del homicidio de su hijo. All right,
The same
going
thing.
forward,
They
where am
can't.
I?
They can't give all the
do you have another
evidence. The
question?
same
Go
question.
ahead.
Can't give all. Got to wait for the trial of that thing.
When you guys were on the 63-way in the Badlands area searching, we did notice that Jake was out there with the sheriff.
Why was Jake out there?
Was Jake trying to cooperate at any time with the sheriff during that search?
So we've answered that question, sir. That was Shannon Sheriff Dykes that answered that question of why they were out there. He said that there was some level of cooperation with the defendants, and that's all we can say. Yep, that's all we can say. Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel, because the baby was 7 months approximately when he died, born in December 2024, do you feel that there are people that let this baby down? Not only that judge who let Jake Haro down, but we're talking about 7 months of child abuse or several months of child abuse. Do you think there are other people who failed this baby, possibly by not reporting what they were seeing, what they thought was happening?
Were there people
Well,
who
certainly
failed
this
the baby?
baby was failed by his parents. So that's first and foremost. So
True.
yes,
That is the first and foremost.
beyond that, I can't comment. But yes, everybody failed this baby that was close to him. Yes.
Including you. You can't find them. I can't hear what he's saying.
Yeah. So I can't comment on the evidence in this case, but what I can tell you is that modern homicide investigations are very tech heavy. And we have two very modern, cutting edge sheriff's departments in Riverside County and in San Bernardino County. And so, yes, what you mentioned was the high tech crimes unit of the San Bernardino DA's office, their Bureau of Investigation. They assisted. And beyond that, I can't say what they found. That can't get into the evidence. But yeah, this case is going to be built on, like almost all homicide cases now, electronic, digital evidence. It all comes into play. Go ahead.
Did the family ever seek medical attention for baby Emmanuel since he was born the day he was missing?
I can't comment on that. Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
What's next?
What's next is, first and foremost, the investigation will continue, and it's led by the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, and then also Riverside County Sheriff's Department assisting. And then the
I have a lot
prosecution
to
will
say,
begin.
don't worry.
We filed the case. The case will begin to work its way through the criminal justice system here in Riverside County. Other folks, yes, we're coming to the end here, I think. Go ahead. Not at this time. No, we're not looking at anybody else. We believe that this is
No other suspects.
The filings in court that will be in this case. Now that could change if new evidence comes in. Yes, sir. I'm not aware of a house fire next door. So.
Okay, the Bernardino,
Yes, sir.
San Bernardino Sheriff was.
I'm not going to comment. Sorry, I can't talk about that. Anything else?
Sí, procurador, disculpe, disculpe. Las acusaciones ahorita son asesinato malicioso, doloso. En español.
En español.
si de encontrar el cadáver y otra evidencia, pudiera cambiar a que usted presentara cargos de asesinato con circunstancias especiales
Sí.
que acreditaran
Sí.
la pena de muerte para esta pareja?
Sí, podría cambiar si encontramos más evidencia y la situación cambia, los cargos pueden cambiar.
All I got from that, there's a
Anything
lot of
else?
evidence.
I think we're closing up here. Anybody have any last questions? Yes, go ahead. Do you know when? September 4th. The court day will be September 4th.
That's my birthday,
All right,
y'all.
thank you all for coming.
Y'all, oh my God. It was so bad. Oh my God. I am livid. Okay. First things first. All right, hold on. Let's clear the air. Whew.
More questions?
Wait, where is that? Okay, there it is. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, September 4th. That's my birthday. Okay. I'm gonna just turn the volume off on this. I'm gonna leave it up in case something happens over here. Maybe it'll catch me the corner of my eye. But y'all, what the hell? Okay. First of all, he was wrong and stupid. That was really annoying. Because look, listen, I'm so used to getting blamed for stuff I did not do. People will be like, oh, she doxed me. Not people. It was like, one group of lunatics. She did this, she did that, or her fans did this, her fans did that. But now there's a whole new group. There's a whole new group of people whose actions I'm somehow blamed for. Anybody that makes YouTube videos at all is YouTubers or bloggers or keyboard warriors. Okay, I do very little keyboard warrioring. Okay, I guarantee you this man probably types more than I do. Okay, so that's the first thing. Again, I don't condone belligerent or degenerate behavior. However, I'm sitting in my house talking about stuff. Okay, like don't. Not all YouTubers are created equally. Second of all, the person who he wanted to blame, the person who these people wanted to blame for being concerned are their bosses. Okay. Imagine getting on a press conference and being like, man, my boss, they suck. Why don't my boss get off my back? Like we can't do that. Can you do that? Yeah, they could have definitely used a sign language interpreter. That would have helped. Yeah, I know. I feel like we should do that. Order in the court, y'all. Then the thing that he was so mad about was it came from, let me show y'all. It came from the mainstream media. And that's the thing that aggravates me. He said, I want to especially thank Captain Colonel Mustard or whatever, freaking with the handlebar mustache. It looked like he was one of them bikers. Looked like he might be in that biker crew. Might be one of his little crews that showed up over there, them bikers. Shout out to the bikers, the good ones or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're not deranged. I don't know. But that mustache, he was smiling real big, talking about thank you to the mainstream media. Okay. Let's thank the mainstream media for this then. Let's thank him for this. Look at this right here. Who is this? This man is on News Nation. This is a mainstream media. This is one of the guys that just got at the press conference for doing such a good job. Well, guess what? He's the freaking one that posted this video entitled, What Baby Emmanuel's Father Told a Fake Inmate in Jail and What He Allegedly Did with the Remains. Okay? 20-minute long video.
House. Let me repeat that again. Sources say that Jake Haro told a fake inmate in the jail that he killed baby Emmanuel and put the baby in a trash can in his house. You might be wondering how.
So I'm going to leave him up there right there for a second. So put a 1 in the chat if you've never in your life heard me come on here and say somebody did a fake jail confession. Put a 1 in the chat if you never heard me say that. There should be a lot of 1s. There should be quite a few 1s. In fact, and indeed, you will recall. When I came on here that night, whenever it was all, he confessed. He's leading them to the body. One of the first things I said when I came on is, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. I have not trusted this Brian Enton fellow since he, during the Diddy trial, had on an obvious corporate paid plant on the New Now news, whatever. And it was like, girl, this person had about 52 freaking YouTube subscribers and somehow had a press pass, somehow had a special seat every single day of the trial. Girl, who's paying you? All right. There was many of these, right? This applies to quite a few people. Now, hopefully they are working hard to find this baby. I don't know. It seems more to me like they're working hard to quell public interest, but also they are relying on public interest. So very strange to me. Very strange to me. What is also strange to me, a few strange things to me. What is also strange is that they were tisking social media keyboard warriors who are their bosses, by the way, who they work for, by the way, who they should be accountable to, by the way. That's how it works over here. That's how it works in the United States of America. It's a pretty long Anglo-Saxon tradition since at least about the 1200s, starting with the Magna Carta, where the people who got all the money and the power and the decision-making duty, whoever has all the power, they have a duty to the people. They kind of work for the people. They have duties to the people. These cops have duty to us. Actually, these cops have a duty to us, to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, to uphold the freedoms and liberties of those afforded to us. They're supposed to protect them. They're supposed to find killers. They're supposed to find baby remains, not the public. So it's been about a freaking month, 3 weeks. TikTok, bitch. What's taking so long? They want to stand up there and tisk at social media content creators after they're the ones that put all this bull crap in our faces. And you know what? I do agree with them at the beginning. I do agree with a few things that were said today. One of the things I definitely agree with is whenever the cop said, sorry, I got distracted by this thing on the side over here. Whenever that first guy came out and said it is appropriate to do a press conference in this case. Because why? Because they did a press conference. They did many, I believe. And the thing that makes me, I think, the most, I don't know, what's like the adverb for indignation, whatever that is. Indignated? I don't know. Is that the thing that they're bitching about, like Betty's at the beauty shop, like these grown men don't have shit else better to do, like protect and actually goddamn serve. If they were just going to get up here, these grown men, and do this all damn day, they should have just kept searching. They should have got their asses out there with the cadaver dogs. What, they wanted to sip lemonade in the air conditioner today? Get your fucking ass out there and find that baby and solve this crime, idiot moron. Nobody's going to tell us anything new. Nothing new. So they're bitching, grown men bitching like women. Something's wrong with these cops. This is our best. This is the best we got. When you need to stop caring about this case. That's what they looked like today. Bitching about fake news, but don't also see how they're literally the reasons for the fake news, because they ain't telling us shit. Hello? Put a hello in a chat. They ain't telling us nothing. So when you don't have any information, actually, they would be familiar with this. If you don't have a body, for example, what do you have to do? You have to use circumstantial evidence to try to figure it out. So if you ain't getting transparency from the authorities, perhaps for a good reason, I'm not even saying they gotta tell us. Maybe they have good reasons not to tell us. But then don't get all panties in a bunch. Grown men with their panties in a bunch. Don't speculate about this case, guys. Get off the computer. Get some rest. Don't speculate. Okay, but then at the other side of their mouth, they're not telling us shit about the case. So what? There is a missing, presumed no longer living infant. They can't find the remains. There's search parties in the side of the Badlands, even the name of the place, the Badlands. Like, hello, what the hell did you think was going to happen? And instead of getting their asses up here at this press conference and answering for themselves, what is taking so freaking long, boys? What's the hold up, fellas? Instead of maybe answering that question, maybe somehow, I don't know, reconciling that incompetency, maybe somehow reporting to us how on earth this man isn't in jail from the firearm charge 2 years ago. Emmanuel wouldn't even been born, which, I mean, I'm never going to be one to say, oh, well, it would have been better if somebody hadn't have been born. But I mean, where is he right now? Did he have a moment of peace in his life since the day he came to planet Earth? I don't know. Where is he? Why did it take so long for these cops to start doing something? This ain't the first, this ain't the second, this ain't the third alleged crime that's come out of this household, come out of these people. So instead of coming and answering to the people they work for, to their bosses, they chastised us. They said the mainstream media is doing such a great job. And then at the same time, said the exact same lie that the mainstream media made up. He called it a lie. He called it misinformation. Make it freaking make sense, because it don't. It don't make sense. What this looked like to me is these people don't have a clue what they're doing. They can't really answer the questions that people have, because if they could, they would. And this is a classic deflection technique. I'm pretty sure they teach it in the police academy. Y'all ever heard of that one? Darvo? They try to put us in timeout, but last I checked, we don't work for them and they work for us. Checkmate, motherfucker. You don't like it, go work in the private sector, baby boy. You work for us. And after that press conference, I'm going to actually start to have to investigate into this, because it's clear to me that these grown men with their panties in a bunch are the little girls are going to have to come do their job. I didn't want to. I actually would love to live in a world where predators and monsters and child and baby killers are locked the fuck up, so I can make flower crowns in the meadow and homemade bread and get eggs out of the chicken coop every day. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Put some eggs and chickens in the chat. I want to have babies and be barefoot in my front yard and making finger paints. That's what I want to do. You think I want to log on here and clock in every day and talk about this deranged bullshit? No, sure don't. But as it happens, the good Lord has assigned me this job because the men responsible for protecting and serving us are acting like bitches at the beauty shop. So I got the little girls who should be making flower crowns in the meadow. Let's be honest. I have to put my soft, sensitive soul through all of this because these grown men don't do what they're supposed to do, what their duty is to do, which is to protect us. I've been holding it in for a while, if you can't tell. So, until or unless the little girls don't have to clock in on our computer every single fucking day to figure out what the men should be doing. And I know there's men amongst the people. Obviously, half of we the people are men, at least. I don't want this to be personally, I'm speaking for myself. I don't want this to be my job. I wish I lived somewhere where there was just nothing for me to talk about that needed justice. I wish I lived somewhere where somebody abuses a kid within almost dying, they never see the free world again. I wish that's where I lived, but I don't, I guess. So I got to clock in every day. We got to clock in every day to do these people's jobs. This is their duty, karmically and every other way else too. They're supposed to be protecting us. They're supposed to be protecting little babies. This ain't a first-time offender, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Lest ye forget, they wanted to point their finger over there at the judge. Well, I would like to hear from the judge because, you know, the judge going to say, well, I don't know what's taking him so long to find this baby. There's plenty of blame to go around. It's aggravating. Anyway. So, I got some notes here. So let's talk about some of the things. Let's talk about some of the things that I wrote in my notes. It's a many-time offender. I mean, pled guilty, didn't he, on one? Thanks so much, Star Banuelos, for the $2 super chat. I read that Emmanuel did not have a birth certificate. I don't know if that's true. And again, these are things that could have been cleared up. I do even understand where they're coming from on one point. Like, I will give them so much of it. I will give them so far. It is probably aggravating to have all this fake bull crap flying around. It's probably also aggravating if real information leaks because they are doing an investigation. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm disagreeing with is coming out here and fussing at me like they forgot they work for us. Hollering and screaming at content creators and keyboard warriors like the only people left with any kind of conscience in this freaking society. Any type of consciousness left. Because most certainly these people look at such depraved crap all day long. They don't have nothing left. I mean, the way that they're acting to the people they work for, it is very clear to me something's been messed up and scrambled around in there. I mean, it almost seems like perhaps lobotomized. What the hell is wrong with those people? What the hell is wrong? And look, listen, I said it. I got to keep saying it. I do got to keep saying it. There is some behavior I don't encourage. There's some things that people do I would never do. And I would actually actively say, don't do that. But nobody's asking me. All I'm saying is it's very inappropriate for them to just lump anybody that's on YouTube making a video is a keyboard warrior. People are losing sleep over this. People are crying. People are losing sleep over this. Now, should they be? I don't know. I mean, that's between them and the Lord. But it's not like, oh, just people online keyboard warrioring. No, it's because you people obviously have no freaking idea how the hell to protect children in neither one of those two counties. Y'all want to blow smoke up each other's ass so good about how good partnership y'all have. Yeah, that's a great partnership of not doing shit to help abused kids. Y'all did it. Let's clap for them. You did it. Name names, or else I'm going to assume you're talking about me, and then we're going to have problems next time, buddy. If y'all got problems with a specific content creator, then y'all need to call that out because you made yourself look like a stupid, what's that man from the Clue game? General, whoever. That's how important he is. I don't even remember his name. Keep it to your freaking self or name names, okay? Because what you're not going to do is act like everybody out here who's putting it freaking all on the line. These people are getting paid to do this work. I got to hope I'm going to get paid. Any moment the video could be demonetized. Any moment, you know, you could not get a super chat, whatever. Put your freaking money where your mouth is, buddy. You're getting paid to do this and still can't do it. People are out here doing it for free, finding more than you. I'd probably be embarrassed too. I'd probably be embarrassed too. Thank you, E King, becoming a member. Thank you, Star, becoming a member. And also thank you for that $2 super chat, Star. Thank you, Grace, for the 129. Thank you, BJ. You are absolutely amazing. I wish you all the best and all the best in the world. Thank you, Hibiscus Rose. Hey, pretty lady. Thanks for covering this. Thank you so much for that $9.99 super chat. This man got on my nose. Okay. Umber, Colonel Mustard. It was Colonel Mustard. Here's their medal. Like they also, I just want to point out, since I got to clock in and do their job every day, the people that's supposed to be doing justice ain't doing it. The people that's supposed to be doing justice are not here. So I got to clock in every day and do their job to try and get some justice for some literally dead infants. Hello. I get on here every day and fight for the rights of people who are enslaved, held against their will. Why? Because the cops aren't doing it. They're in on it. They're in on it. LAPD, anybody? So instead of getting up there today and maybe straightening out some misinformation, hey, I understand everybody's upset. I understand everybody wants answers, and we do too. Look, this is what they should have did. This one's free. Next time I have to tell a cop how to do something, I'm charging $3,333.33 an hour, but this one's free. This is what they should have did. Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I regret that we have to be here under such unfortunate circumstances. I know that you're looking for answers. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, people of the world, of the United States, of the great state of California, this is what they should have said. This is a free consulting lesson for any cop who needs to do a press conference, because I just can't sit through another one like that. Okay, so thank you for coming. I wish it was under better circumstances. I know you want answers. I do too. We do too. And we haven't slept. We've worked around the clock, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that it would be helpful for you right now to have more details. I'm going to tell you, once you have these details, you're going to be sick and you're going to lose sleep at night, just like my sergeants have been doing. Just like I have been doing. When we are able to tell you these details, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be sick. So prepare yourselves. Unfortunately, we still don't have the body. We have not located. This is what he should have said. We unfortunately still haven't located the body. We have some pretty good ideas. We're chasing those leads down. There's factors and variables at play because this case has garnered such public interest and attention. And I appreciate the public's concern. It is a very concerning story. This is something they should have said something like this. We are working tirelessly and we will not stop. They should have said something like, as a result of the public interest in this case, and as a result of us not being able to talk about all the evidence quite yet until trial, there have been some misinformation, some false stories. Maybe that's on purpose, maybe that's not. But just to let y'all know, nobody has confessed, or I'm not willing to discuss about confessions at this point. Whatever. Thank you to all media outlets and all of the members of the public who are concerned about this case. And we are doing everything that we can to bring justice, not only to this baby, but to the other babies who were also harmed by these people. I'll take questions now. See how that's not really even that much different? I'm telling you, I want to be barefoot in my front yard, okay? I don't want to be having to do this shit. But the Lord said, the people that are supposed to do it, girl, they not doing it. And it wasn't even like acting, you know, that's it. That's the facts. I'm like, I understand y'all are concerned. I understand you want answers. Unfortunately, because we haven't even found his body yet and people's tromping through the fields and stuff. I understand y'all are looking, but it kind of does get a little bit get in the way. Can't give you all the information that we have. Got to save some for trial. Anyway, so one thing I did notice, you know, that they said at the very beginning was like, these people, Jake and Rebecca Haro, are presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. That is true. They are presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. And so there's like all kinds of rules, professional rules of conduct, rules of court, different guidelines about when an attorney is allowed to speak on a case that they're a part of, like an open case that they're a part of. So, you know, some states are different than others. Some, you know, have different rules or whatever. But like in general, you know, press conferences are kind of like allowed, but In general, the judges in most jurisdictions are going to want to have the case to be tried in the court and not a quote trial by media. So you did kind of get some like disclaimers from this DA guy whenever he first came on the podium on the scene. He was like, they're presumed innocent until proven guilty. And then he said the other thing about how in this case, it's like particularly appropriate to have a press conference because they went and talked to the media themselves. I kind of think those were like legal arguments to keep Rebecca and or Jake from being able to appeal. I think those are legal, kind of like, well, they did a press conference. We can do one. So don't get mad at me doing a press conference. But really, truly, y'all, I don't know how they could get mad. There's no information was shared other than we got fussed at. We all got fussed at for giving a shit. We all got fussed at. Thanks so much, Grace, for the 27 super sticker. Did they mention what CPS was called for? I kind of heard, again, it was like kind of, it went kind of fast. But what I think the guy said was that Jake himself alerted the cops to a abuse or domestic violence situation that was going on over there, and it was not in Moreno Valley. This again, Golden Girl, this is another, they kind of did seem to imply he's the one that called, like, to call in a child abuse thing. And it's just like, honestly, I have more questions than answers after that press conference. Golden Girl said, why was the father trying to buy the saw? I don't know if this is true. This is another one of those things where it's like, I don't know if it's true. He was trying to buy a saw. Maybe there is like some evidence of it out here somewhere. I did see also that there was an interview with like a pawn shop owner who is, claims to be in contact with the police, and he has items that Rebecca tried to pawn. They didn't say they were mad at mainstream media. They said, thank you to the mainstream media. They said they were doing a great job at the beginning. Actually, that's what I heard. Thank you so much, TT Marie, for the $50 super chat. I'm mad at these grown men acting like this. Thank you for that $50 super chat. Thank you for everything you're doing. Let me go online. Oh, I wanted to show y'all also this because we never got to go through it. This was that BYM media. This was the press conference agenda, the news conference agenda. Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestrin did the opening remarks. He's one of the ones. Mike Hestrin, remember that name because he's one of the ones that called his bosses keyboard warriors. That's very interesting. Imagine doing that to your boss. Like, these people have sincerely become very confused with the order of things. Comments from San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Discus. He didn't offend me that much. But he was the one that did. It was either, who was it? Shannon Discus or was it Chad Bianco? One of these two was like, keyboard warriors. It was both of them. Bianco came back up and said it. So I don't know. Shannon, is he on my list or not? Because I'm personally on my list of reasons why I can't just make flower crowns in the meadow and sing nursery rhymes and frolic. I'm personally putting the names on the list of reasons why I can't do that. Mike Hestrin, Shannon Discus, and number one is Chad Bianco, excuse me. Q&A, in which he answered pretty much nothing. Unless he might have buried some secrets in the Spanish answers. I really didn't get much from those. I definitely know in the Spanish answers, he was definitely saying, there's a lot of evidence. We can't talk about all the evidence. I'm unable to comment on it. We're going to have to wait till trial. And we do believe he has been, passed for a few days or, for a while or whatever. I think that's what I got mostly from the Spanish answers. But I mean, honestly, that's about as much as I got from the English ones. I truly got about as much. I'm not kidding. I know I like to come on here and joke and make jokes. I'm not kidding. I think if I would have just heard the Spanish answer, only with my understanding of Spanish, which is about level 0.5, let's be honest, out of 12, like, like 0.5, like a half a year of kindergarten. Okay. I got as much from the Spanish answers as I got from the whole press conference. I am literally not joking. That is a true statement with no hyperbole. I'm not joking. Gracias. Porque that information. Okay. Because yeah, normal. We're not normal. Listen, I'm not normal. I am not normal. I am blessed, highly favored, elite, exceptional, all of that. I'm not normal. So that's true. But also I'm not credible. So no one listen to me. Did they explain why they took Jake to the field? Golden Girl, good question. So yes. No. Yes and no. They answered the question. They answered when prompted, but was it really an explanation? No. But you only can kind of fill in the blanks. You can kind of fill in you can only speculate. And that is this is the reason why you see me getting so aggravated, is because it is a natural process and it is to be expected. When there is a court case going on and an active investigation, they have not located the remains. Truly, is this victim even living? I mean, we don't know for sure. And perhaps the cops know for sure. Perhaps they found evidence, blood, DNA, perhaps they found stuff. I'm not even saying they didn't. What I'm saying is they didn't tell us, their bosses, the public, the people for whom, not only for whom they work, not only from whom they receive their money. No, not only that, but from whom they derive consent to be governed. They only have power because we consent. They derive their power from the consent of the governed. We are the governed. Okay. And it's high time we remember that they work for us. Now, that doesn't mean you should be a jerk. That doesn't mean you should be belligerent every time you deal with a cop, because that makes you an asshole too. Sometimes they're just there to try and help you. Sometimes you need to call 911 because you need them to do their freaking job. They do have a job and they are supposed to do it. So that's great. You could even kiki hee hee. You could even do a line dance with them at the parade at Mardi Gras if you want to. But they derive their power from the consent of the governed. That's me and you. Okay. That's where they get it from. And it's about time. They remember it, or maybe perhaps for the first time ever realize it. Carol, shout out to the UK cousins. Wow, BJ, watching from Glasgow. Feel your rage. Disgusting. Disgusting. It's disgusting. Carol. I'm trying my disgusting. Anyway, what'd you say? Feel your rage at the incompetence. At the very least. Exactly. At the very least. Who do these people think they are? Who do they think they're talking to? Because I know for certain it must not be me. It can't be me. Can't be us. Can't be us. Possible comments may also be made by Brandon Smith. I don't know if he spoke. I don't know if Nick Clark spoke. Anyone with information related to this case is urged to call the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Homicide Detail, because clearly they can't figure it out themselves. They need us. They need the people. They need the public to help them do their job, but not like that. Do it like the mainstream media. Oh, you mean like Brian Enton? Oh, no, not like that either. Oh, okay. Got it. Please note, news vans and trucks will be able to park. This is the complaint. We already read that on this channel, and the baby. Okay. Tech heavy. So they did kind of explain a little bit what he was doing out there. They kind of said that the defendants are cooperating to a certain degree. The defendants are cooperating to a certain degree. What does that mean? He did say pretty unequivocally nobody confessed. They did say unequivocally nobody confessed. So they also said the thing about the Perkins witness in the jail cell is false. Now, do I believe it's false? No. Do I believe it happened for sure? Not necessarily that either. But for me, my mind is wide open. My mind is wide open. That Perkins witness could have been a real thing that really happened. And then that just blew their whole little operation up because Brian Enton from News Nation reported on it. That's possible. That has happened in the past with other, cases and stories and different people. Tony Gordon, your birthday's the day before mine. Stop. My star sign is, it depends what you're looking at. It's Virgo. Western astrology is Virgo, Sun, Pisces, Moon, which means I'm psychic, and your ancestors like me more than you. That's to the haters. Not to the cousins. The ancestors like us the best. That's obviously because we're cousins. Anyway, and what's my rising? Aries. But then, for some reason, on some ways that I get it run, the rising is not Aries. The rising is something else. Pisces maybe, or something. It's all messed up. And I really think it's the Lord. He got my thing all confused so that the witches and the wizards can't really get me. He's got my thing all confused. Every time you run it through, it's like a different rising sign. And then then I have my Mayan chart. I think I'm like a rabbit or something. And then the Mayan chart was so cool. I'll show y'all my Mayan chart one day. And then I got, I don't know what I am in, Vedic astrology, because I only did it with ChatGPT. I need like a real astrologer that really does it. Okay, Kirsty Perez, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Judge is giving a break to those breaking body souls need to be investigated. That judge does need to be investigated. Aries, Sun, Virgo, rising. Yup. I know Capricorn, but I am a Capricorn magnet. I mean, I probably do have some Capricorn, in the 9th house, 10th, something, this, that, but I don't know. Everybody in my life is a Capricorn. My inner circle is always just straight up Capricorn city. Sometimes a random Aquarius will pop in, but just random, just one or two, just sprinkled in. But Capricorn, my mom and dad were both Capricorns. My mom is a Capricorn, my dad's dead. Monica's a Capricorn. My fiance Prem is a Capricorn. My editor is a Capricorn. It's a Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. I love Capricorns. So that's probably why y'all think I'm a Capricorn. I love a Capricorn though. I love Capricorn. I love earth signs. I do. I like water signs too, but just to sit around and be around, earth and water usually. Aquarius, air signs. Y'all want to go too much. Y'all want to go too much. Y'all want to do too much. I want to sit on my couch. Okay. I'm not trying to, you want to run to no, I'm not. I don't want to do that. No, I want to sit with a Taurus and a Capricorn on the couch and watch Alexander Hamilton or something. I don't want to go out nowhere, okay? Sagittarius, I love it for you, girl. I will like the pictures on Instagram. Y'all want to do too much. I want to sit there. I don't want to go nowhere. I do not want to do nothing. Tony, the almost same day as me birthday. He's like, me too. I like Aquarius. I like their ideas, but I'm not trying to leave my house. And y'all want to go do stuff. Hamilton sing-along would be fun. Where could we do that? I don't want to get in trouble for copyright, whatever. That would be fun. Okay, what am I? Okay, Judge is giving a break. Thank you for that $5 super chat too. Oh, Filthy Happy said, nope, I'm a homebody. Okay, then that's good. You must have got some earth signs in there somewhere, girl. I mean, fire signs I do get along with. I am an Aries rising. Okay, so let's see if anything else has been actually filed in his case. I mean, I'm angry. They got me in a bad mood. It's because I really wanted to be outside today. And I was really thinking about how I had stuff to do today. And I put it off and I didn't do it because of these people. And they did nothing and they gave us nothing. They gave us nothing. They blamed us for their incompetence, all but. Please. Let's see. Riverside. I am searching the docket to see if anything's been filed. Yeah, I'm not I told y'all there's always a sprinkling of Aquarius. It would be fun to do a what's everybody's sign thing. But the thing about signs is it really matters big time what your all of them are. It's not just your sun one. Okay, so what we're looking at here is media requests to permit coverage. This is nothing really new. like one more Leos I do get along with too. There's one more media request that came through, but it was from the Desert Sun. Yeah, I get along with Leos too. My South Node is in Leo. So I think in some traditions that means that my most recent past life that I did a good job in or something was Leo or something. Like I've been a Leo a lot. So I kind of can vibe with Leos, I think. Yeah, okay, see that's a good Aquarius. See, it's these random homebody Aquariuses that I'm like, yes, slay. Britney Spears is a Sagittarius. She's very keen on freedom. Okay, let's go to let's just go and check the Twitter and see if we have any. Yeah, this is one takeaway too, that we have a pretty strong indication of where the remains are. But then whenever on the theater, I was like, you said you know where the remains are. He was like, we didn't say that. It's like, whoa, dude. Whoa, dude. Calm down. Lay off the whatever it is that's got you so testy. If the judge had done his job, the baby would be alive today. I mean, that is true. I don't disagree. But what y'all doing? If y'all would do your job, we'd have a body today. See how that works? And this one right here, apparently he's running for something against Gavin Newsom. I mean, look, listen, I'm no Gavin Newsom fan. That man needs a brain scan. But this one right here don't look too much better. I mean, I'm scared. Frankly, I'm scared because this man's priorities are all out of whack. He's lashing out at the people, at the women and the children. I mean, really think about what is a keyboard warrior. Really, what kind of like demeaning and rude ass thing to even call someone, because you really think about it. Someone's a keyboard warrior. I just feel like that's directed at people sitting at their house that don't want to leave their house. This would be like mothers, wives, people who need to be protected by people like, I don't know, this creature. But instead of protecting us, he is fussing at us and calling us names. And that's the world we live in. It's open air prison. It's open air prison. And the clowns are in charge. The more clownier you are, the more in charge you get to be. Did y'all know that? The clownier and demonic, the more clownier and more demonic you are, you get to go higher up the ranks. I didn't know. Somebody should have told us these rules when we started. Like, I'm sorry, we actually dared to care. Exactly. Heaven forbid a woman get into something on the internet and be like, hey, it would be nice if we like got some justice for this baby. God forbid. God forbid we got to get called names. Yes, ask your son, the Roz Rodriguez. He's probably got the download from the mothership antenna. The press conference done came and went, girl, and we didn't learn nothing. We don't learn nothing. Breezer said, just got here. I had the press conference started. It came and went, and we learned nothing. They have a decent idea of where the remains may be. The story about the Perkins, the fake confession to the fake. What was it? What was it? Cellmate. The fake like cellmate, you know, there is, and I didn't make a video about this because I didn't know if it was real. I didn't know it was true, but I got blamed for spreading the rumor. And I mean, he didn't specifically say my name, but he didn't specifically not. And that's why I'm like, name names, bitch. Don't, because I'll name a name. I don't even know his. Can't be bothered to care. Oh, Bianca. Bigger the clown, the bigger the title. Well, I mean, he's like the Oracle, Roz Rodriguez. I need to know what he has to say. Let me know. And it's like, Tony, this is what I keep coming back to. It's like nobody would have to guess anything if y'all would just tell. Well, okay, you're telling me you can't tell because you got to wait till trial. No problem. I'm not even one of these people that's like, well, you shouldn't get mad. No. Well, you shouldn't get mad. Actually, I guess I am kind of one of those people, but I'm not one of those people that's like, they should get over it. They shouldn't be, you know, they're allowed to be frustrated. It's allowed. They're allowed to have feelings. What I don't feel like they're allowed to do is take them feelings and misplace them onto us. If y'all ain't going to tell us the answers, I mean, think about it. I know there's parents in the chat. Put a 1 if you're a parent in the chat. There's certain things you just don't tell your kid, right? Like, until a certain age. I don't even have anything in specific. Like each parent has a different, timeline of telling their kids certain things. I don't know. It could be something personal. It could be a secret. It could be a way something, how babies are made, whatever. But like, you can't really get mad if you just keep waiting and waiting to tell your kid and they find out some other way, or they start to guess. And maybe when they guess, they have the wrong idea. That's natural and it's predictable. So why are they acting like that's not? Like there's certain things kids don't need to know. There's certain things we as the public don't need to know right now because it could actually jeopardize an investigation. I do believe that. But what the hell is this man? What does he think? What does he think? People are just going to be like, oh, yes, sir. Aye. Like, we'll just wait, sit on our hands and wait. And you have mainstream media putting stories out saying that he confessed to a fake prisoner. Just tell us something. Seriously, just tell us something. Oh, girl. They got on my nerves. Look, KTLA, here's their mainstream media. They were telling them, thank you, mainstream media. Thank you. Thank you, mainstream media. You're doing such a good job, KTLA, spreading something that the guy just said wasn't real. It was fake. There's these things called Perkins, like a procedure under a presidential case name. I think it's Perkins. And basically they'll put a fake decoy in the cell with you. They will put a fake decoy in the cell with you and make it seem like they're your friend. It may be someone who already actually literally is in jail. It could be a real like bona fide inmate, could be undercover cop, could be, any combination of whatever. They just put somebody in there with you, get you comfortable with that person, and then extract a confession. So that's what's being reported by the mainstream media, the normal media, normal mainstream media who doesn't need to go and get a rest, go take some rest. The normal mainstream media, not only News Nation, but also now KTLA. Something else we learned at the press conference, the baby Emmanuel had been abused by his parents over a period of time. So it looks like their theory of the murmur case is that, again, we have the malice of forethought. Which means that the statute requires that these parents, both of them, knew that their actions were going to, or more than likely going to lead to the unaliving of someone, someone becoming no longer living. Oh, Crystal, I'm sorry to hear that about your cat. So he made one comment about the mainstream media. Well, the other one was thanking him. So I guess that's good. Yes, the malice of forethought means they knew it beforehand. So like if let's say you're drunk driving, which you should not do, and that is a crime. It's very dangerous. But let's say that somebody, I would never say you would do that. Let's just say, John Doe is drunk driving and he, hit somebody in a crosswalk to somebody and then somebody dies. Well, that's like vehicular manslaughter, but he wasn't like going over there and like aware the whole time he's doing it. Like, oh, let me like there's a very high chance. Versus, the quintessential example they give for the malice of forethought, reckless endangerment is, I think it's the fire, arson, opening fire in I used to know that acronym. Basically, again, I'm trying to follow the YouTube guidelines. I'm happy to follow them. Okay. I'm trying to follow them, but basically, if you show up in a crowded movie theater and you just open pew, 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 and you just close your eyes, you just don't even know where you're pew-pewing, and then people become no longer living, that's considered murmur, or it could be. It could be. Every case is, case by case. But that's considered murmur because you knew that opening pew, pew in a crowded room and closing your eyes and just pew, 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 pew could very likely most likely would result in somebody losing their life. So that is still like, you knew that's what you were doing. Now there's all kinds of defenses, right? And saying this, that, whatever. So in this case, it doesn't look like they are saying that was just one incident. They're not saying, okay, at the end of baby Emmanuel's life, there was an accident or there was just one incident. No, it was like he sustained a life of abuse. And it was this continued treatment, which should have put both parents on notice that it was bound to happen, especially Jake. Now, there was one very powerful thing that one of them said when they weren't bitching like Betty's at the barbershop about us. He said, oh my God, I'm reading my notes again. He's like, this press conference is appropriate because they had a press conference themselves and we need to clear up some of the facts. Well, they didn't do that. So you should have just left that little, should have backspaced that off the page. Okay, then the Amber Alerts, okay. So within 24 hours of this call coming in, they found inconsistencies with Rebecca Haro's story. And what were the inconsistencies? We don't know. They didn't tell us, but he did give us a little bit of a hint. He told us that one of the inconsistencies that they found within the first 24 hours had to do with CCTV or some type of surveillance camera footage. Where was this car, that car, something about something they saw in the footage. This has culminated in hundreds of hours of investigations. It's happening in Riverside. The jurisdiction is Riverside, but they are working closely with the San Bernardino County Sheriff because they there's evidence in both. You know, there's like some of the stuff is in San Bernardino County, like where the house is and stuff like that. But then Riverside is has the jurisdiction because I think they think that's where the final overt act occurred. So right out the bat on the question and answer, I believe this was the DA guy. He said, you have to remember, okay, so somebody had asked, why did they have this guy go out to the side of the street on Sunday? Like, why was he out here doing this search and rescue mission? He wasn't helping. He wasn't helping or assist. What was going on out there? What was going on? He said, well, you have to remember, we're dealing with a, quote, experienced child abuser. And there's other cases that have happened in the past. There's other cases that have been opened in the past. And so I don't know if that guy is trying, if Jake is trying to leverage his knowledge of what perhaps whatever knowledge he has in this case with the Emmanuel case, with whatever else was going on, his other open case. I don't know. All we can do is speculate again because they didn't really tell us nothing. We can only really speculate. What they did tell us is he was out there because, and I'm paraphrasing, there's some degree, some level of cooperation is happening from these parents, specifically seemingly him. But they are refusing to say that he is assisting them. And they have specifically said, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department has specifically said he was not, and they would not characterize it as though he was helping. So okay, Delana said the neighbor also stated he turned over all his footage and the public will see it. So there is some info from the last couple months. Is he telling the truth? That's another question. Is he telling truth? Because I'm thinking about this Perkins thing. Like, Brian Enton, like, I don't trust him. I don't find him to be credible. I think he's like basically just a corporate shill and he'll just say whatever like somebody's publicist gives him. I truly do believe that. I don't know him. I could be totally wrong. So like, that's not a fact. That's just like what I can speculate. That being said, it is very, very specific and kind of random for him to just have this tip that Jake confessed in prison, or excuse me, in jail and holding to this undercover informant and it not be true. So is it, I don't know, girl. I mean, apparently Ricky said apparently or allegedly there's a video circulating of her falling in the parking lot with no one around from the jewelry store perspective. And I'd love to see it. And, you know, it's kind of like, again, I mean, I know that I keep beating this probably a by now dead horse, but there's all this information available to the public. There's people coming out saying, yeah, she was in my shop. Here's the thing she pawned. So we supposed to be like, la, 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 waiting for San Bernardino Sheriff, la, 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 Riverside, la, 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 Sheriff, la, 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 DA, la, 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 trial, la, la, la. That's unreasonable, unrealistic, unreasonable. Messed my hair up, girl. What happened with their lawyer? I don't know, girl. I do not know what happened with that lawyer. They don't have him no more. BM Mills said, I live here. I'm a local. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Were you at the press conference earlier? They were acting a little crazy for my liking. At least I got to work on my Spanish a little bit. Yeah, on the theater. And it's like they got me scared. They kind of got me scared to like even like investigate. It's like unless it comes from the police, if somebody's standing up here, then it's not true or don't believe it. It's like, well, then y'all need to tell us something. Y'all ain't tweeted in 6 days. So tell us something then. Shit. Okay, Sarah said law enforcement may be saying they were out there on the basis of Jake showing them where he was told by the mother. Some of it could be. All we can do is speculate. All we can do is speculate. B.M. Mills said, I've seen all the cops. It's a circus, and I don't blame him for being angry, period. I don't either. I don't blame him for being angry, but they need to direct the anger at the exact right place because two people can get angry and they work for us. Okay. So they are the ones, listen, they are the ones, the police, lest ye forget everybody. And again, if the grown men whose job it is to do this want to get cranky, that's fine. That's their right. But if you will recall, it was precisely the law enforcement authorities who enlisted the help of the public, including this very day. On August 15th, when they made the first tweet announcement, they asked the public for help. Today, this very day, they still have a number up. If you know anything, give us a call. They got us involved. They got us involved. But no, not like that. Not like that. And again, if people are disturbing the peace, if people are obstructing justice, if people are in the way of an active investigation, those are crimes. They should be charged. They should be dealt with appropriately. But I mean, you can't at the same time give somebody a slap on the wrist and then make them the star of the press conference the next day. Then you should have just did what you needed to do in the first instance. Stacy says also, Brian said he also lied to the cops before the Perkins operation, telling them he accidentally rolled over on the baby and then buried him out. I mean, again, this is all just speculation. We don't know because the cops ain't telling us. And that's who they're mad at. Then they need to name names because it's actually our First Amendment right. And it's the First Amendment for a reason. It's very important. It was like the first thing they thought, like, hold up. We got to have a freedom of speech. We have to have the freedom to express our thoughts, our ideas, our religion. We have to have the freedom to express criticism of a tyrannical or otherwise government. It's very important. And do you know what every single cop, every single CIA agent, every single law enforcement, anybody, even lawyers in this country has to do? Take an oath to uphold the principles of the United States Constitution, to uphold and protect and defend the Constitution. That cop has absolutely freaking no business chastising the American public, the worldwide public. Absolutely no business. whenever his stupid ass said, I promise to uphold and defend and protect the ideals and values of the United States Constitution, whatever the specific police swear-in is for that particular club. But it's like to uphold the public's right to be a keyboard warrior. That's our fucking right, bitch. Put it on a t-shirt. First Amendment, 10 toes down, 11 and a half toes down, bang, bang, gang, gang. That's our fucking right, bitch. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm cursing so much today, but I really mean it. This is not a joking matter. It's not a laughing matter. If they're mad at On the Tira, they should make an example of him, which I don't believe they should do. However, I do not believe he should have said hola menacingly. I wouldn't have done that. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him. I think he's doing great work. I think he's gotten a couple things wrong. I think he's done a few things that aren't necessarily wrong, but I wouldn't do the hola thing. I don't think that was necessary. I do actually think it makes all of us look kind of bad. And so for that reason, I do have to say, I don't condone going to court and saying hola to the, defendant in a menacing way. I do see why he felt like he wanted to do it. Does he have the right to do that or not? I mean, I really don't know. He should probably get a lawyer. I don't know. But if they mad at him, they need to say that. Because calling everybody a keyboard warrior whenever really it's our First Amendment right to talk about how y'all are investigating this case, and it's our First Amendment right to investigate why on earth it's taken so damn long to figure anything out. It's our First Amendment right to criticize the authorities and how they're handling this investigation and others. So if you're mad at somebody, just say that. Yeah, they're mad we're asking questions. And again, y'all, I'm not out there. And I don't want to go out there. It's hot. It's hot. They got it under control over there, and there's people over there and all that. I don't want to go over there. So, and I don't encourage people to go over there. But I understand that's some people's style of doing, their videos and stuff, and I guess they can. But that's just not what I do. That's not what I do. I don't like it. It drains my energy. I know I seem real outgoing. I'm kind of an introvert. I really am kind of an introvert. I like sitting in my house. It's my favorite thing to do. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to be around these people. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to stay. Definitely don't want to stand in a line. I don't want to go through a metal detector. Oh my God. If I never go through a metal detector in my life, it'll be too soon another time. So I don't, but that being said, they do got people that go out there. And I guess what's so bad about that? They're providing information to the public. I do think the information should be accurate, or at least, presented in a way where it's like, this is a theory. Patty Cat said, usually the police want to encourage the public to help. Encourage the public to help and have a good relationship. The sheriff was a bit weird. Yeah, he's weird. He wants to be the governor of California? No. Y'all vote against him. But then you have to vote for Gavin Newsom. So honestly, vote for whoever you want. I wouldn't vote I would abstain. They both seem incompetent and ill-equipped. Incompetent and ill-equipped. People are tired of waiting for answers, Tony said. Totally. He was so rude. He was. Hold on, I gotta check my text messages. Okay, let me go to Twitter. I think new details just released. What are the details? Updated 36 seconds ago. Nothing's in here.
Good morning.
Oh, it's just the press conference. Now the New York Post is reporting it. And so look, y'all, look. They were so, yay, mainstream, yay. These cops just got done with this press conference saying it is not true that he confessed. or admitted or, and all this. But the New York Post is saying breaking news. He did admit it. Look, 7 minutes ago, U.S. News reporting. 2:35 p.m. but New York Post. But now it's like, what do we believe? Breaking news, he admitted it? I mean, how many times are we going to get this breaking news, he admitted it, before we hear it from the sheriff? So what's the truth? And I know y'all heard me say earlier, I'm not a Brian Enton fan. I'm actually very suspicious of him, but I don't think he just made that shit up. I think it came from somewhere. That doesn't mean it's true. But all eyes on Riverside County. Oh, is that true? Interesting. So let me look up New York Post and see what they're reporting, because we're getting conflicting reports, everybody. Is this going to be based on that Brian Enton thing? Did the cops just lie to us after fussing at us? Did they just say that he didn't actually confess when actually he did? That's what I'm wondering. Let's see. 17 minutes ago, New York Post, look. And it's from the U.S. News. Again, y'all, this is just posted about 20 minutes ago, not even 20. Emmanuel Haro's father admitted to unaliving missing baby and dumping him into trash can. But I don't know if this is true, y'all, because the cops just said like less than an hour, like what, an hour ago, this wasn't true. So I don't know what's true. Yep. They're reporting it on the New York Post like it's true. Investigators used an undercover inmate to goad Jake Haro into admitting to the grisly crime. News Nation Brian Enton reported, citing sources. Which sources? Meanwhile, authorities said they can prove Emmanuel died after a long period of physical abuse at the hands of Jake and Rebecca. They live in Riverside. Look, people who were saying they don't live in Riverside, they live in Riverside County, California, is what the New York Post said. Now, is this true? Is this not true? The cops just told us at that press conference, this is fake news. They got so mad. That's what got me so flustered, is that specific discussion about this specific topic. Did he confess or did he not? He's like, that's not true. Well, since that happened, since that press conference ended, this has come out. So what's the truth? What's the truth? Let's go to their Twitter. We believe he was subjected to abuse over time. Because of that, he succumbed to his injuries. We have a pretty strong indication of where the remains of the baby are. Jake and his wife, Rebecca, initially told cops a strange man hit her on the head and snatched the kid while she was changing his diaper. But the sheriff deputies arrested the Haros several days later, charging them with murder, citing inconsistencies in their story. The freeway story may explain why Jake Haro was seen with investigators in a remote field in Moreno Valley. We have some ideas in terms of where we're looking, or where we're going to look, and where we're going to continue to investigate. He pointed to a 2023 child abuse conviction against Jake Haro, who severely beat his young daughter. So let's go to Twitter and see if the cops are actually tweeting anything, because they fussed at us today. You don't see it on from us. I mean, I'm even us. They don't believe it. So I'm going over there to them. Two Frames Media. I had this sick feeling. I had that same sick feeling. Okay, so do we have anything from them? No. Are they gonna help us? No. Are they gonna make a post and say that was fake news? No. Okay, let me go to Riverside County. Maybe they'll do something. Doubt it. The DA's office. No. What about Riverside County Sheriff? Y'all, the way my heart just dropped when I saw this. But it's not. It's a different 52 minutes ago. Okay. All right. So useless. So they're all just like citing Brian Enton, but the cops this morning said that that wasn't real. Could it be real? Could it not? Yeah, no, the incident was absolutely outrageous. He should have been in prison. Why wasn't he in prison? Was that previous judge in on it? What are they covering up for? And at this point, honestly, I'm starting to wonder if maybe the story is more to it than meets the eye. Maybe it's not just so freaking open and shut. Because these cops are now kind of like giving me the impression they're acting sort of like they got something to hide. I wasn't thinking that at all before this press conference, but now I am a little bit. I wonder if he has relatives in law enforcement. I do too. I do too. Okay. I don't know who that is. I'll check that out. Let me see. It's like it's just misinformation warfare out here. I mean, I don't know if he confessed or didn't. We were told this morning he confessed, and then the cop said no, he didn't. And now we're getting exclusive breaking story that he did. They're citing this guy, and it's a YouTube video. Who are the sources?
Hey guys.
According to sources. Which freaking sources? They're definitely holding on to their cards and being obvious about it. Yeah, that's fine. They just need to leave us out of it. Thank you, Tyler. Hair looks so good today. Thank you, thank you. What if they did, TB said, what if they, shout out to you being a member 15 months. What if they did use the Perkin method to get info, but it wasn't by the book, and now they're trying to cover themselves? I think that makes sense. This would add up. This would add up, TB. TB said, what if they did use the Perkins method? What if they did have somebody undercover in there and they didn't actually go by the book? What if they violated like a Fifth Amendment or something? Like, what if there's a rule against it? What if something? AD, exactly. This ties in with it. AD says, agreed with you on Brian. It can be one of two things. Either Brian is just making shit up or reporting things that he didn't verify, or the second option, he's right and they're denying it because it jeopardizes their operation somehow. Could it be from creating an unfair trial situation? Can they not use that confession because they didn't go by the book? Are they going to end up with a Alec Baldwin Rust situation? Oh, Brady violation. He walks free. They do always move the goalpost. Amber Sparks, you're so right. Unless we were there, we will never know. And it is so true. Sloppy Just a theory. It's just a theory. It's just a theory. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Would they be able to use that information against him? It depends. It depends. Enton is a journalist. He's not going to reveal his source. That's fine. He doesn't have to, but I don't have to believe his source either. If you're not going to reveal your source, I mean, that could have been your grandma having a psychic vision. I don't know who the hell that is. So he don't have to, but I don't have to believe shit he says until I know who the source is either. CKI said Mbingo was his name-o. Is this Tira? Said he received a tip on where body was and he was going to go. Oh my girl, he don't need to do that. That I would not. Listen, I'm going on record right now and saying he don't need to do that and nobody needs to do that. I don't know him. I don't have his number. I'm not his friend. We don't talk. Nothing like that. I just heard of him the first time in my life about a week ago or less. This is that type of stuff you definitely don't do. And I would highly discourage anyone from doing such a thing. Absolutely don't do that. If anyone does that and you get in trouble, you probably deserve it. I think, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, Stacy, I have heard of it for sure. When they were talking about it, Stacy Winningham said the lady on with Brian said they do this a lot there, and she imagines that they would know how to do it by the book, and it's usually admissible in court, but I don't know. Right, and that just leaves open the possibility that perhaps it is just not true. Maybe they didn't do it. Maybe someone did do it. Maybe it was by the book. Maybe they just don't want to tell the public. People are saying do not do that. That is too much. And this is where I have to draw that line, because if I don't draw the line and make it very clear where the line is drawn, then people just decide to group me in with other things too. And again, y'all, I mean, people are grown, they can do what they want to do, but I'm saying don't. I'm saying don't do that. Smiley is saying the confession thing might be true and the police maybe went off script. Now they're backpedaling. I don't know. Melinda said, we keep telling him not to do that. He found a baby blanket and put it in his car. Yeah, you can't do that. I'm just going to say, I'm going to pray to the Lord to give him some good judgment and good discernment. Amen. Smiley said, I bet they did go off script. Yeah, it could mess up the crime scene. It could really mess up the entire operation, the entire investigation. I don't think it's a good idea. Actually, I'm going to say I think it's a bad idea. Yeah, that could jeopardize the whole case. I wouldn't do that. Shout out to the rabbits. Rabbit peoples coming through, the little rabbits in the chat. So I mean, they're KTLA, do details. It's like he confessed according to sources, but they're putting it out like the way that this is coming out like this. KTLA, New York Post, Brian Enton. I think it could be something to it. I think there could be something to it. But I don't know. I mean, the cops said it was he was scowling, saying it wasn't true, wasn't real, it was fake. He was fussing at us. He was fussing at us. A Perkins informant. Jake Haro, look, revealed that information. Wait, hold on. He has reportedly confessed to unaliving the child and putting his body in a trash can near their home. Maybe they don't want people going to dig through the trash. Maybe they're at the land. Where's the landfill where the trash goes? Maybe they're over there. Jake revealed the information to a fellow inmate who was actually an undercover informant. Brian Enton said. Again, the cops have said this is fake. The cops have said this is not real. After Haro told police he rolled over in bed and accidentally killed the child before burying the body. And I don't believe that story either. I don't think that's how that child, I think that he had suffered and sustained a traumatic injury and was no longer among them. I think that's what happened. That's my opinion. It's my speculation. Last I checked, we still had the right to do that, even though these cops want to tisk. been arrested and charged. The body has not yet been found. I think we get some news today. Something's going to come out today. There's just no way that all these conflicting stories can exist for long. Christina said Brian is always on point. He's never reported the wrong thing, so I believe him. All of this is just theory, right? Until we have facts. Yep. Trying to get your Dexter on ain't it. Agreed completely. Christina said he definitely wouldn't knowingly put out false information. That's not like him. I don't think maybe he would knowingly, but I have definitely seen him have people on there who have no business being propped up like that at all whatsoever. So I'm not sure I truly do or can trust his judgment or his discernment because he puts plants on. So it just makes me feel like he's not fully trustworthy. That being said, I haven't like fact checked, everything he said and compared it. So absolutely, Christina, if he wouldn't normally do something like this, I am thinking, even with my criticisms that I do have of him, I'm thinking, well, how would he would just make this up? Just make it up, pull it out of nowhere? I don't know. AD said it's still not responsible for Brian to report on an undercover operation. And I don't take exclusives. If someone would have emailed me that, which they did not, and it would have been very credible and it would have been very straightforward, I wouldn't have released it personally. But I'm not a journalist. I'm just a girl on the internet. So if somebody wants to, I don't consider myself to be a journalist. Now, I do have the freedom of the press. I do have the right just as much as a journalist. No, journalists don't have more rights than y'all. Do you know that? Journalists doesn't have like more of a right to speak their opinion or to speak their little putting their thing out. Now, they do have a little bit more of a right to protect their sources or whatever, but like journalists don't have special privilege just because they a journalist. Like everybody has the same rights. Now, the courthouses definitely didn't get the freaking memo. Definitely these sheriffs didn't get the memo. It was reported all over the news, Tony said. Phoenix said maybe he didn't actually sign a written confession. Oh, Phoenix, great speculation, which is all we can do because we don't know the truth. Phoenix said maybe he didn't actually sign a written confession. So technically, it doesn't count. Or maybe they don't want Rebecca to know that Jake confessed and is throwing her under the bus, or that he was heard on the phone. When do people get that mad, TB said. Who? Do you mean these cops? TB said, when do people get that mad? Like maybe when they get caught doing something they're not supposed to be doing. Mm. Mm. Oh, Christina said exactly. What's an oath keeper? That's the racists or what? Nikki said, I think Jake has done the same thing as what he did in the previous case. I do too. It seems the most likely. He just got frustrated. The baby was crying. He don't know how to control his temper. He probably got something wrong with him. And he needs to be locked up for sure. I'm not saying, he got something wrong with him, therefore he shouldn't be held accountable. No, he got something wrong with him, and I'm not sure that he can actually control his anger. So we need to lock that freaking guy up, is my opinion. Innocent till proven guilty. Innocent till proven guilty. On the playback, BJ got me crying with her fierce little speech because I'm trying to be out there collecting eggs from the chicken coop. Okay. Or are people falling for the bait? That's I don't know. I'm telling y'all, I don't know. I don't know. These are all just theories. I don't know. I don't even have a theory. I don't even know. Ooh, Valkyrie said, are they in general population? Prisoners have access to TV and tablets. I imagine she probably knows. Maybe her and Jake found a way to communicate. Inmates do it all the time. Is that true? Joyce said, another speculation. All we can do is speculate. But Joyce said, I think Jake partially confessed. He's not going to say what actually happened because he doesn't want anyone to know the full extent. He wants to look cooperative and better than Rebecca. Delana said, okay, yeah, if they were so mad at that previous sentencing, then why didn't they lock him up at the first violation? Right, when he first violated it with the pew-pew charges, like they just kept letting him get away with stuff. Like, was he maybe like, I don't know, I don't want to get too conspiratorial here, but some sinister things are going through my mind as to why this man hasn't been locked up already. I Smoke said, I just want to throw this out there that there were several cops asking for stickers from On the Theater on the day Jake was out there supposedly helping. He has stickers? I don't know anything about that. He's not going to tell inmate the truth because inmates would have CC said, he ain't going to tell them, and he ain't going to confess to an inmate because they go after people that hurt children in there. Jake's lawyer is no longer on the scene. He has a new lawyer. Kind of like a gang affiliation. Kind of like it. Yeah, actually. Yeah, kind of like that. Exactly like that. Yeah. In my mind, but I don't know. Sometimes they let it decompose to help the defense. The cops were taking, he has stickers for his channel. Thanks for reminding me. Lizzie Pooh said, I need to gather my eggs before I pick my son up from school. See, living the dream, girl. If they're watching TV, I'm surprised they haven't heard her. Girl, what is going on out here? What is going on out here? Let me just Google Emmanuel Otto. Here. Let's see what I'm seeing. Okay, so I need to confess. Sources say he may have confessed. So truly, I do not know. And truly, we just can't know. I'm starting to think they have nothing. Both of them aren't talking. Jake and taking Jake out searching that day was a setup. And so is this Perkins thing to get her to talk. Alicia. Okay, Alicia said, if you notice, Jake was in a red jumpsuit when he was with the police. The red jumpsuit is an indication in that county that he's not in general population. Okay. I don't know about that county, but that seems to be an indication that he is, I guess, more in like a special housing unit, solitary confinement type of thing. Joyce said, I don't think the other lawyer is death penalty certified, but this is not a death penalty case. They don't have it. Red suit is PC. What's PC? I don't know what PC mean. I kind of feel this way too. Oh, just protective custody, but doesn't that just mean jail? Mecca said, okay, I keep thinking about Jake might have someone in the judicial system because how did that first sentencing happen? I mean, seriously. All we can do is speculate because they're not giving us anything. That's why people are going around looking for information on their own. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. He was blowing smoke. Stella speculates. Saying he buried him, I heard. So they called him on the bluff, took him to the site, and he quit talking Interesting. Interesting. Liz said general population wears blue in Riverside County, so they don't have them in general population. Alicia said he's definitely separated from everyone else. It's segregated, Crystal said, from general pop. So the inmates, a protective custody means you're separate. Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, got it. He's by himself. Okay, thank you. It means he's by himself all the time besides the guards or staff. Oh, okay. So Rabbit, thank God. Rabbit translated the Spanish. Apparently, if the body of the baby is found, it could be a DP, a D penalty case. I'm happy the public is concerned as well. Good question, Mama Bear. Why is he PC and not her? Could be because he's in a men's prison and maybe men are like more likely to be beating up the other men, but it could be anything, you know, it could be, anything. Could be anything. We can only speculate. CKI said he'll be in PC until he goes to trial. April said, wait a second. If he's by himself, he wouldn't have told anybody else anything because if he's in solitary confinement, why is he blabbering to other people? He couldn't confess that there's no inmate in there with him. That's another good little point. It's not a lot of information at all came out today. The main thing definitely did come out is, you know, the baby had been abused for a long time and eventually succumbed to those injuries. Although CPS was never called on this particular baby, Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestron said Wednesday during a press conference, authorities have not found the child's remains, but Hestron said they have a strong indication of where the remains are located. Okay, so again, I mean, there's some news sources that are reporting he's confessed, he rolled over on the baby, he put the baby in a trash can, this, that, the other. The police said at the press conference that was fake news and stop spreading fake news. I don't particularly believe them, but they could be telling the truth. I just don't know. Yeah, Rebecca was wearing a blue suit. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Stella said, I don't think that was just a simple lazy eye. I think it was indicative of a head injury. Okay, so Melinda, shout out to you looking this up. Couldn't find it for Riverside, but for LA, red indicates a high risk inmate requiring special handling like a celebrity inmate or needs protection from others. He looks sad and confused. If his remains are at the city dump, they said there's no way they would ever figure out where because it's been over 2 weeks. I think Nate got played. Who's Nate? Yeah, if they have a strong indication where the baby is, then why isn't there a search party looking for him? And I bet you there is. And I bet you it might be at the landfill or something. They have a strong indication and they are looking, but they haven't found him yet. So what could that mean? They have a strong indication. He could have said, we have a strong indication that the wildlife took it away. So add that together with this apparently supposedly false story about him putting the baby in a trash can or a dumpster. There's other stories which were allegedly false. We don't know if they're true or false about him trying to buy a saw. Joyce said, do you believe the district attorney saying it was the judge and not the prosecution that went lenient on Jake? I actually do believe him because he did say it was on the record. So I would actually be surprised for him to say like, oh, it was on the record. That invites people to look it up and they do know people are looking it up. So It's possible he's lying. It's possible that he wasn't telling the truth, but I believe him for now. Who's Nate Eaton? Inmates don't like people that hurt kids, so that's why they're keeping him away. That was my first thought, Callie Dime. The judge was the final say anyway. Let me look up one more thing. So it's not really like being reported a lot, that confession thing. It was like 2 or 3 different sources. It was crazy. He said that he didn't know the neighbor's house burnt down, but the other police do know that. The other police do know that. Like the San Bernardino, whatever, they know it because there was statements out of them acknowledging it. Oh, I thought it was Brian Enton. You think Brian Enton got played, you saying? Oh, Nate Eaton is a different person. People get Nate Eaton and Brian Enton confused. Nate is with the East Idaho News. Okay. It was Judge Jorge Hernandez. I think he knew about the fire. He just said, I don't know. So he's just lying. Oh, God, girl. Hope not. Okay, well, that's all I really had for this one. I will be back if anything breaking does happen. I do kind of have like a feeling something's going to happen, some huge break in this case, some huge breaking news story is going to happen the next, like maybe this afternoon, maybe tomorrow morning. Something is going to break. Maybe it already broke. Maybe we just got to find out what's true, what's not true. Anyway, that's all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.